Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain you about what is community based rehabilitation and what is institution based rehabilitation. Now, giving the treatment in the urban area, in the hospital, in the clinic, in a daycare center where technically expertise doctors are available, all the recent equipments are available, all the latest facilities are available, that comes or falls under the IBR, institution based rehabilitation. Just opposite to this, working in the rural area or the tribal area where less facilities are available, technically expert individuals are available in a less in a number, okay, and not much good equipments are also available for the treatment. But there is a difference between CPR and IPR. First and foremost, IPR is a urban based rehabilitation, whereas the CPR is your rural based rehabilitation. Second, research and statistics is possible in IBR, whereas it is absent in the CPR. The third important point is treatment of the rare condition is also possible in the IBR, whereas it is not possible in the CBR. In the IBR, the treatment is mainly done by the professionals or the specialists in their own area, whereas in the rural or area, okay, a simple physician or a any medical professionals, they have to perform the work of any other professionals as well. So rehab is lacking in quality, okay, or the treatment is lacking in the quality maybe in the rural area for the CBR. The treatment in the IBR is very costly, whereas treatment in the CBR, that means your rural area, that is economical. Now, regarding traveling, okay, in the IBR, the traveling to the institutions, that means to the hospital, is required and it may be difficult for the patient. Whereas in the CBR, the patient is not required to go anywhere. The medical professionals, okay, social workers, physiotherapist, vocational counselor, evaluator, okay, medical social worker, okay, all will go to the patient's home, patient's place, and then they will deliver the treatment. So no traveling is required in the CBR. Second, in the IBR, the patient is cut off from the society. The patient will be exclusively in the hospital. Whereas in the CBR, the patient will be at their own society, in their own place, and they will never be cut off from the society. They are living with their own people. In IBR, there is no participation or support from the community, volunteers, and the family members, because the patient will be isolated in any particular room or in ICU or so on. Whereas in the community, there is full participation of the patient, their family members, other persons of the village, okay, and the other nearby people, all will be actively engaged in the entire rehabilitation. In IBR, the patient cannot be an example for the other patient, because other patients will not come to know about this patient. Whereas in the CBR, if the one case has been treated properly, it will become like a case, okay, if you are treating it very properly, it becomes like a testimony, or everyone will be aware about, yes, this treatment is helpful in this particular condition. And moreover, patient will receive support from everybody, and we called something it like spring bond effect, that is seen only in the CBR, not in the IPR. In IBR, not based on the needs expressed and identified by the community members, okay, basically we are treating with the symptoms and the illness. Whereas in the CBR, it is based on the specific needs. I want to be independent in ADL, I want to do some work which will help me to earn something, vocational rehab. And rehab is basically directed reduction of the illness as well as in the improvement of the ADL activities. So, in IBR, no direct participation is possible from the disabled side, whereas in the CBR, the direct participation is possible from the patient side. In IBR, there is no follow-up after the discharge, whereas in the CBR, regular rehabilitation and follow-up is possible, because the doctors or the medical professionals, they have to go into the patient's home or the area or the village. Prevention and early detection is very much possible in the IBR because of the advanced pathology lab, biochemistry lab, radiology services, and so on. But in the community based rehabilitation, early prevention and detection is not possible. In IBR, there is something called centralization of the responsibility and the resources. That means the person who is expert in one particular field, they will only do that particular work. Whereas in the CBR, one person has to perform all the duties. That means an ordinary physician or a physiotherapist, they have to work like a specialized therapist, like a cardiopulmonary, neuro, ortho physiotherapist, like that. That means an ordinary physician has to work like a extraordinary physician, by means like they have to deal in the sometimes like they have to treat patients with the cardiac problems, they have to treat with the neurological problem and so on. Referral services are possible in the IBR, but it is not possible in the CBR. And specialized unit like your intensive therapy unit, specialized therapy, okay, that is possible in the IBR, whereas it is not possible in the CBR. Large number of healthcare workers are required in the IBR, whereas only few members of the healthcare are required in the CBR. The ultimate goal for rehabilitation is to utilize the existing capacity of the handicapped person and make the patient functionally independent, and see to that they are getting some forms of vocational rehab, and they will not become the burden on someone, okay, and they try to earn some money for themselves, and maybe they will become some support to their family as well. So we have to look the patient as a whole, and we have to see to that we are trying to provide this all things to the patient, and the ultimate aim for our treatment is to provide a good health, a physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being, and not merely an absence of disease or infirmity. Thank you.